This video is for topic 6.3, heat transfer and thermal equilibrium. The objective for this topic is to explain the relationship between the transfer of thermal energy and molecular collisions. When we talk about energy transfer, we're also looking at heat or Q, because again, we are assuming that there is no work being done. So our change in energy is the same as our change in heat or our change in Q. This transfer happens spontaneously, so that means on its own, from hot to cold. So cold doesn't really exist. Cold is just less energy. So lots of energy is hot, less energy is cold. And so energy is always going to move from hot to cold, from the high concentration of energy to a low concentration of energy. This energy transfer happens through particle collisions. So particles have to actually touch, they have to collide in order to transfer energy from one particle to another. And this transfer continues to happen until we reach what is called thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium is when all objects have the same temperature or the same average kinetic energy. So when you mix something that's hot and cold, you're going to end up with a final temperature or a final average kinetic energy somewhere in between the hot and the cold, because the hot object, particles, substance, whatever it is going to collide with the colder particles, and energy is going to transfer from the hot to the cold. So that's going to raise the energy of the cold particles. It's going to lower the energy of the hot particles. Eventually, this is going to happen until everything reaches the same temperature, which is going to be somewhere in between. It's not always exactly in between. It depends on the actual substances involved. But it's going to be the temperature for thermal equilibrium will be higher than cold and less than hot. So the collisions are going to happen, and eventually everything will reach the same temperature or the same average kinetic energy, and that is when it is considered at thermal equilibrium.